Hi, what's shaking and what's baking? It's your man, Big Rich, Queens, New York City, where we get busy. A little Tuesday evening business, as I like to say. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in, wipe your feet on the rug. Throw some smoke in the atmosphere. I just lit up some Jungle Brothers Z-Berry, which is Skittles times strawberry cream. Delish. Let's get right into it. Being that the first mob story we ever did on YouTube was the assassination of Frank Cali, there was an interesting article in the New York Post, and we're about to get right into it. Look at this piece of shit, Anthony Camello. Written by my man Ben Furerherd. Salute to you, sir. The link will be in the description box, and make sure you go see the story because there's other pictures and documents that I didn't put up in the video. So you can go there and look at it. Long-hidden FBI files reveal slain Gambino boss Frank Cali's rise to power. A trove of long-hidden FBI files shed light on how slain Gambino boss Franky Boy Cali ascended from a family soldier in the 1990s to head of the powerful crime syndicate until his shocking killing in 2019. Heavily redacted files obtained by the Post through a Freedom of Information Act request offer to date perhaps the most revealing look into Cali's rise to power, as the mafia kingpin was known as a ghost who kept an extremely low profile to avoid federal prosecution. When's the last time you heard somebody described as a ghost by the FBI when it comes to the mafia? This guy right here. Cali, who was gunned down outside his Staten Island mansion at 53, was arrested just once in a 2008 extortion conspiracy, despite years of being eyed by the FBI and surveilled by agents in Brooklyn, a testament to his ability to stay off the radar. After he was shot dead by an apparent QAnon devotee in the Tot Hill neighborhood, one law enforcement official told the New York Times that Cali was the polar opposite of flashy Gambino boss John Dapper Don Gotti. Quote, he's basically a ghost, unquote, the official said. But according to the FBI files, Cali fell on the Bureau's radar in the spring of 1996 when he was about 30 years old for helping to skipper a phone card fraud scheme for the Gambinos from a Park Avenue office building. By November of that year, FBI agents in New York believed several Gambinos were involved in the production and distribution of telephone travel cards and that they committed a number of federal crimes as part of the scheme, including money laundering, income tax violation, mail fraud, and wire fraud. Quote, it goes without saying that the telephone card industry is one of the most important sources of illegal income for the Gambino LCN family, one FBI official wrote. At the time, Cali was listed in the FBI file as a proposed soldier for the Gambino family, and the feds believed he had not yet been made or taken a blood oath of loyalty to the syndicate he would later lead. In October of 1997, FBI special agents in New York contacted the Bureau's Atlanta field office to appraise them of an apparent 94 million phone card bust-out scheme led by the Gambinos that targeted Georgia-based WorldCom. Quote, the method was to sell as many phone cards as possible on the streets by charging the best price per country and offering the best discount to the distributors, one of the FBI reports states. Quote, Gambino members such as Frank Cali and others lined their pockets with millions in cash from the aforementioned scheme. Can you believe how beautiful that is? Millions of dollars without lifting a gun, just phone cards. I mean, this is what I love, the phone cards. Amazing. Cali, along with Gambino members John D'Amico and Joseph Watts, allegedly created a company called CNC to distribute the phone cards, flooding the market with the cards and would later be billed by WorldCom. Quote, due to the flood of cards, the debt owed to WorldCom grew. In the beginning, CNC paid their debt and was considered trustworthy by WorldCom. However, CNC did not continue to pay their debt, a March 7, 1997 FBI document states. Around that time, the feds appeared to take an increased interest in Cali, according to documents. They began tailing him in Brooklyn, photographing him with his associates on 18th Avenue in Bensonhurst, and interviewing confidential sources about the Gambino soldier. In one October 1997 report, an FBI agent recorded doing a spot check on a location on 18th Avenue between 72nd and 75th Streets in Bensonhurst, according to the files. The agent recorded an unidentified mark walking with Cali. In July of that year, an agent drew up a report titled Surveillance of Frank Cali on 18th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, which included photographs of Cali and several other people as they visited Tony's Luncheonette in the neighborhood. The FBI also listed him as a recently made member of the Gambino family in March 1997 communication. A federal grand jury related to Cali was convened in 1998 in the Eastern District of New York, but charges against him were never brought, the documents show. Federal charges for a phone card scam were later filed against John Gotti Jr., the reputed leader of the Gambino family at the time, but later dropped by prosecutors. Quote, "I was a victim. I lost a lot of money in that deal," unquote, Jr. told the Post at the time. After his one arrest in 2008, federal prosecutors in Brooklyn highlighted Cali's involvement in the phone card scheme and arguing he be locked up pending trial. At a detention hearing, prosecutor Joey Lipton told the judge Cali, who had risen to the rank of captain at the time, had been a successful criminal because of his ability to hide from the spotlight. We'll probably never hear stories of some of the greatest gangsters in the world simply for one reason. They don't want to be known. Cali, like other members of the family, has sworn a blood oath to the organization to commit criminal activity, Lipton said. Cali has been successful in fulfilling that oath in a large part because he's been careful. Lipton also alleged Cali had significant ties to mafia members in Italy, telling the judge that a number of people in his crew at the time had been born in the old country. Lipton said investigators recorded 2 Italian mafiosos speaking about Cali in Palermo. Now, we guys know for a fact that his wife is part of the Inzerillo family, which is a very powerful clan back in the old country. Quote, "He's everything over there," one of the Italian-made men said to the other, Lipton said in the hearing. In the 2008 case, Cali pled guilty to extortion conspiracy and was sentenced to 16 months in prison. After his release, he continued his meteoric rise in the family, reportedly rising to the boss in 2015 after acting down Domenico Cephalou stepped down. Cali's hidden image exploded into international headlines when he was shot and killed outside of his home in March 2019. The alleged gunman, Anthony Camello, an apparent QAnon conspiracy theorist, lured Cali outside of his home in Todd Hill on March 13, 2019 by crashing into the mobster's parked car. After a brief conversation between the two, Camello allegedly shot Cali multiple times in the chest, fatally wounding him. After a number of bizarre court appearances, including one where he scrawled the letter Q on his hand, Camello was deemed mentally unfit to stand trial in 2020. A spokesperson for the Staten Island District Attorney's Office said in an email Wednesday that they could not provide any information about the case. If he goes into a mental institution instead of jail, where he'd be in PC, it'd be a lot easier. But then again, if you talk to my friend Jimmy Dean, he'll tell you for the right price, even a prisoner in PC can get touched. Great story by my man Ben Furerherd. The link will be in the description box. Go check it out. There's a lot more pictures and a lot more FBI files for you to look at. And this was a really, really sad story. This was what really got my attention, and the reason why I had actually put up the story is because one of the Gotti brothers got out of jail like a week or 2 weeks before Frank Cali's assassination. I was like, holy shit. Before they said it was this waste of oxygen of a kid, Anthony Camello, I really thought that the Gotti brothers were making a play for the throne. And Mob Stories was born. Original Mob Stories. Don't get that mistaken. Let me know what you're smoking on. Let me know what city you're smoking in. Big Rich, Queens, where we always keep it business. Like I said, Jungle Brothers, Z-Berries. Let me know if you could top that. We'll talk soon. Salute.